We have talked before about moments where Fox hosts, Fox Business hosts specifically, grapple with good economic news. And because good economic news is bad for Trump politically, at least he thinks so, and good for Biden politically, now good for Kamala Harris's presidential campaign, Fox hosts have this very bizarre reaction where they seem disappointed that the economy is going in the right direction, disappointed that things are getting better for the American people, and disappointed that clearly the governance of Democrats, the governance of the Biden-Harris administration is good for economic performance. And so watching them struggle to deliver what otherwise should be good news, but they're feeling pain because of their political ambitions and they put politics over people, is quite the experience. I've never seen, though, a moment quite like this one. We always see a little bit of a struggle for them. This one you have, I don't even know who this particular Fox Business contributor is, but she's on Maria Bartiromo's show, Mornings with Maria. And she is so disoriented about the really good GDP growth figures that we've received that she just has to say, no, I don't buy it. I'll play you that in a second, but here's the introduction of this news on Fox Business.
All right, let's get the breaking news right now. First read of second quarter GDP out. Cheryl Sony with the numbers. Cheryl.
So it came in stronger than economists were thinking. 2.8% is the first read for the second quarter. The estimate.
So that's the news. And then let me, she was about to say the estimate was 2.1%, but let me skip forward to this contributor who really does not take the news well at all.
Get adjusted then up and down quite a lot.
The GDP at 2.8%, you have to believe we're going to see a revision there, right? Is that what you were going to say? Are we going to see a revision on second quarter?
I just can't. I hate this.
2.8%, you have to believe we're going to see a revision there, right? Is that what you were going to say? Are we going to see a revision on second quarter GDP?
What's happening?
It's the most optimistic fairy tale numbers I've ever seen in my life. In this, I just don't understand. Come on, we are not growing at 2.8% annualized. That's not happening, and this is going to be revised downward. I mean, what is bringing it up so much, Cheryl? Why is it 2.8? What is bringing this number so high unexpectedly when durables are down 6.6? I'm sorry. No, I have to look at that.
We should point out that GDP.
I love that. What do you think of that? You know what? I have to say no. I refuse to accept this. Which it could be adjusted down, but why wouldn't we just be excited for a strong, robust U.S. economy that continues under the leadership of President Joe Biden? Vice President Kamala Harris continues to outpace and stun our counterparts globally. Just like how our entire recovery out of the pandemic shocked the rest of the world and economists predicting a recession every step of the way, and it just kept not happening. We are doing that still, outpacing expectations, and our counterparts. CNBC reports economic activity in the U.S. was considerably stronger than expected during the second quarter, boosted by a strong consumer and a sizable inventory build, according to an initial estimate Thursday from the Commerce Department. Real gross domestic product, a measure of all the goods and services produced during the April through June period, increased at a 2.8% annualized pace, adjusted for seasonality and inflation. No, I can't. No, I refuse to accept that number, she says. Economists surveyed by Dow Jones had been looking for growth of 2.1%, following a 1.4% rise in the first quarter. And what's exciting is this comes as inflation has been cooling. So it's not GDP growth that is running parallel to bad inflation, which can mess with that. But instead, inflation has come down significantly. It's down really close to an ideal figure. And we're still seeing this strong economic growth. Jobs numbers have continued to be strong. That's another thing they hate reporting on, is whenever job growth is strong under Biden. And so what's the takeaway? Well, the most important takeaway, Fox hosts, hello, this is what you should care about, is this is good for the American people. But if we are going to go to a political takeaway, why this is so painful, and she just, I can't, is that it is good for Biden politically. But now in the presidential race, it's good for Kamala Harris politically. Because history has taught us that when the economy is doing well and Americans believe that, then the candidate that's already in power has a better shot. It's going to be harder for Trump to convince people that the governance of the Biden-Harris administration is so terrible, the country's going to be finished, as he says, if Kamala Harris gets elected as president when she's vice president right now. She is running in part on the record of Biden, and that is yielding really positive results. If you are appreciating this show out of a hotel room and you want to support the work we do in the freest, easiest way possible, you can do so by clicking that subscribe button if you have not already. Back to the video. Now, a few random Fox News moments, then we'll look at the first Kamala Harris ad of her presidential campaign. This was just sort of strange, Harris Faulkner.
She cared that any of them weren't giving their money for her, but maybe those donations that she's going to inherit by whatever it is, anointing, coronation, whatever it is, that she cares that those people put their hard-earned dollars for him and not for her. And she is much farther right than Joe Biden.
Kamala Harris is much farther. Did she mean to say further left? Further right? Wouldn't that be a compliment on Fox News? The person who posted this clip captioned it, "TV isn't for everyone." I don't even know who this guy is, but he's giving off weird vibes on Jesse Waters' show last night. Not ready for prime time.
Yeah, where was Kamala tonight, Jesse? I didn't see her there in the Oval Office to receive the torch from the Biden and the Biden family passing the torch. She's nowhere to be seen, and wow, maybe it's because Joe Biden's really weak right now. She doesn't want to be seen anywhere near him. It's almost as if she's throwing him under a yellow school bus.
Ha ha ha. What? You do realize sometimes I think people who speak on politics don't put any time into keeping up with politics. Sure, they'll listen to themselves speak and they love that, but they won't actually go and make sure they're informing themselves before doing so. Because if you watch Kamala Harris's speeches in recent days, she dedicates time in all of them to speaking very highly of Joe Biden and talking about how the successes of his administration and her administration is a part of the reason that she should be elected president, because her governance would look like what we've seen from Biden and that she's been a part of. If she were trying to hide from or distract from her association with Biden, she would not spend so much time talking about how great of a president he's been. So that point falls flat. Also, he knows it's not a literal torch, right? Where was Kamala Harris? I thought she was grabbing the torch from Biden, but she can't do that if she's in a different state. No, she took the torch, so now she's using that newfound responsibility to go campaign. That's why she's not in the Oval Office with Biden during his speech for some reason. Which vice president has ever done that? Sat next to the president during one of those addresses. Instead, she's out there campaigning, which is what he's encouraging her to do as he's passed the torch to her. And speaking of her campaigning, here's her first ad, pretty powerful, as the presumptive nominee.
In this election, we each face a question. What kind of country do we want to live in? There are some people who think we should be a country of chaos, of fear, of hate. But us, we choose something different. We choose freedom.
Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. Freedom, freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too.
The freedom not just to get by, but get ahead. The freedom to be safe from gun violence. The freedom to make decisions about your own body. We choose a future where no child lives in poverty, where we can all afford health care, where no one is above the law. We believe in the promise of America, and we're ready to fight for it. Because when we fight, we win. So join us. Go to KamalaHarris.com and let's get to work.
I'ma keep on running 'cause the winner don't quit on themselves.
The feedback that we've been getting from focus groups, from people talking about their perception of Kamala Harris is mostly from those who don't already know they're going to vote for her. Is mostly, I just don't know much about her. I heard focus group extraordinaire Sarah Longwell speaking to this morning on CNN. She was talking about how what she keeps hearing is, I just don't know Kamala Harris. And so that makes me annoyed at her, sort of, because the only time I made the analogy previously to a kicker in a football game, if they're doing their job right, no one really pays attention to them. But if they miss a field goal that's an easy one, then all of a sudden you remember the kicker. And a similar thing here, where as vice president, she's only become a story when it's a bad one, often that Fox News is pushing, border something or another, some clip they find to be hilarious. And that is about what a lot of people know about her, but they're open to learn about her. And they're excited that there's an option, there's a new option to learn about and dive into, and potentially younger and potentially more inspiring and motivating. And what my message is to you all is we're in a really good spot now, because Americans know Trump. He's not going to shore up much more support than what we see right now in the polls. But there's a lot of ground Kamala Harris can make up. She can introduce herself to a lot of Americans sort of for the first time. Make a new first impression on a lot of people. And ads like that, framing this election as freedom on one side and anti-freedom on the other, democracy on one side, autocracy on the other. And that's something that a lot of people are going to be compelled by. And she hasn't had the chance to be front and center up until now. So no, if we are looking at polling and feeling, the torch was just handed to her. A lot is going to be done, and even just the next couple of weeks will make a huge difference in people's perception of her. And speeches like this one help to do that as well.
But you should thank unions, and I'm looking to the cameras in the back of the room. Not them, but the people who might be watching. You may not be a union member, but thank unions for the 5-day work week. For the 8-hour workday. Thank unions for sick leave and paid family leave and vacation time. Because the fact is, unions helped build America's middle class. And when unions are strong, America is strong.
And I'm pretty sure she's speaking to unions there. So what's exciting is Biden turned out to be one of the most pro-union presidents we've ever had, which ends up, the point she's making, helping, and we've talked about the studies that indicate this as well, helping all workers. When unions are strong, all workers benefit from that. And it's good to see already she's coming out, because we've played a bunch of clips, a bunch of topics, but I want to play this one here to update you on this part of her campaign and saying, I'm going to be that pro-labor, pro-union president like Biden has been, which is exciting to see as well. So you have that message and all the other clips I played for you in other segments. A strong economic message, strong record, strong vision for what's ahead, strong contrast between Trump. Opposing, you have your oppositional case for why Kamala Harris should be president. You also have an affirmative case based on her merits and her agenda items going forward. And you have an economy that just keeps getting better. People are going to continue to feel that in their lives and hopefully will reflect their experience of the improving economy in their vote. Fox News is working every day, as you saw, to convince people they shouldn't be so happy about those metrics, though. Let me know what you thought of all that in the comments. If you want to get extra content daily, you can do so by clicking the join button below.